Good morning, friends. Good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Um, Welcome to our another episode of Voice of 360 Open Up. Today we have a special guest to share his life stories, life journey. Before going into the program, I just want to give you a brief introduction about Voice of Men 360 and IMD. Voice of Men 360 is a non-profit organization recently started in Canada, Toronto, Canada, and we are working towards helping boys and men around that nation. So, Voice of Men 360 actually is part of IMD, International Men's Day, and International Men's Day have been serving more than 20 years. This year, 2020, is the 21st year, and nearly 90 countries joined together around the world, joined together, and then they are doing a number of various activities on a regular basis. IMD follows 6 pillars. Let me share the 6 pillars so you will get some ideas. The 6 pillars of International Men's Day: to promote positive male role models, not just movie stars and sportsmen, but everyday working class men who are living decent and honest lives. Number two, to celebrate men's positive contributions to society, community, family, marriage, childcare, and the environment. Number three, to focus on men's health and well being, social, emotional, physical, and spiritual. Number four, to highlight discrimination against men in areas of social services, social attitudes, expectations, and law. Number five, to improve gender relations and promote gender equality. Number six, to create a safer, better world where people can be safe and grow to reach their full potential. These are the 6 pillars IMD follows, and we also follow. And today we have a special guest. He's a self-discovery coach for men and author, visionary founder, and CEO of Live More, sorry, and podcaster, of course. So let's welcome Jonathan Tarrant. Jonathan, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Sivam. I'm great. Thank you. Thanks for having me on. It's an honor to be here.
Thank you for joining, actually, to share your life journey with us. Let me start with take you back maybe 5, 10, 15 years old. So you were actually right now you're helping a lot of people, young and middle-aged people. So to inspire, something happened in your early stage. Anything can you remember, any influence or inspiration?
It really wasn't so much that something happened to me in my early stages. It was I guess I'll reframe that. You could say that in my very early stages, at a very young age, I learned to close myself off emotionally and in a lot of ways, like shut myself down. I feel now that I do have very powerful emotions and very great depths of feeling, and maybe I couldn't handle it, or maybe I wasn't allowed to express that as a young child. And at any rate, I shut it all down, and so I began to live my life in that closed off state. And the longer I did that, the more isolated I felt, the more of a stranger in my own life I felt like. And so to your point, rather than having like a dramatic event as a young man, what happened is that my story arc, the course of my life led me to a very major and complete emotional breakdown as an adult. And it did a lot of damage to myself and a lot of people. However, it also gave me the motivation and the space I needed to wake up and challenge everything that I'd been believing about myself prior. So, for me, the dramatic event came much later in life.
I believe we all of us go through a lot of situations and overcomes. I can hear the sounds like you had to come across a lot of situations. So let's talk about a little later. Um, can you go back your school days as a
Mhm.
boy, as a growing young man? What are the challenges you had to face or come across when you are at high school or college or university?
Um, like fitting in is always feels like a challenge when you're in school.
Hmm.
Learning to be yourself can be a challenge, certainly, and especially in an environment which is not teaching us how to connect to our hearts, not teaching us how to really connect with each other. When you're in school, you're learning your times tables, you're learning political science, you're learning how to how to fit into the accepted capitalist structure of society, and you're not really taught how to be a human being.
Hmm.
And that's a problem.
It's very framed society, or it's interesting. So let's talk about your father and son relationship. Can you have any memories that we can share? You can share.
Sure. Like, certainly I've had plenty of good memories with my father.
Hmm.
I It's probably quite natural. I find that I am remembering more easily the memories that I dislike. My father and I are not super tight. My father has always been rather emotionally distant, and I'm sure, I know this can be attributed to his own childhood, his own life, as it however it was. So he did the best he could with the tools that he had. But the end result is that he and I never really, I feel, never really connected very deeply, and we don't spend a lot of time talking right now.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, you are right, because sometimes or most of the times we just blame that particular individual, but we don't know the history or the story behind those individuals, like father and then their fathers, the circumstances or the environment they grown up. So we don't have any idea. Um,
Exactly.
yeah, and
And it's very easy to play the victim and point the finger and say, "Oh, my dad was this or my mother was that." But we are all just people doing our best, right? And like, everybody's got their story, everybody's got their history. So
exactly, you are right. Yeah, absolutely. So let's move to our society, talking about things, what's happening in our society. What do you see when you come across with a lot of people, like the our boys and men? So what their the main challenges? What do you see in common?
Well, certainly, I mean, what I see in common is the social programming, is the stereotypical expectations of men and boys, and women. Of course, women and girls have their own set of social expectations. Men and boys, males, are programmed from, or conditioned from, a very basically from birth to uphold certain behaviors. Like boys don't cry, and you have to. I say have to, but I mean, it is expected that boys will look a certain way, behave a certain way. One of the dramatic and a dramatic example that occurs to me, that really hit me hard when I realized it quite a while ago was the way in which young boys will interact with young girls, physically, like pulling the hair or pinching them, or like sort of physically like irritating
Mhm.
little girls. And what do we tell the little girls about that? More often than not, we as adults, we're like, oh, that's so cute, he likes you.
Mm.
And when you look at that more deeply, I think it's kind of terrible. I mean, what are we teaching our girls? What are we teaching our boys by framing the behavior in that way? So there's a lot of societal expectations placed on boys and men, um, and we do it without thinking about it, without critically thinking about the emotional effects.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, there are a lot of things, not only a couple of them, even young age or any other age category, middleman or family man or anything. There's so many things we don't know, and then the society teaches different ways too. I mean, let's talk about now you are serving, or you are a self discovery coach for men. How did you come to that point? You want to help other people too, and also you are the author. So let's talk about this, the self discovery, because that's a huge part, I believe, in your work and in your own life too.
Sure. Yeah. The becoming a self-discovery coach is really a natural expression of my own experience. Self-discovery is what I have been desiring more than anything for most of my entire life. That separation that I felt, that isolation that I have lived with for as long as I can remember, has been very painful. It's been very painful for forever. So having achieved my breakdown and subsequent awakening, I realized what I'd been doing to myself without meaning to, without wanting to. I realized what I'd been doing to myself and what I'd been creating for myself, and how that had been hurting me and hurting those that I loved the most. And so what I desire to do more than anything is to help other men who may be in a similar position, who may be feeling similar things, who may be on a similar path. I want to be a guide for them in some way. I want to lead by example and help as many other men as I possibly can to to find a higher level of being, to connect more deeply with their heart and souls, to realize their connection with everyone around them, and to help them to feel good about expressing themselves entirely, however that looks, disregarding all of the social programming. Just be who you are and love yourself for that.
Jonathan, if it's okay with you, like, can you go back when you say the turning point or the moment, the self discovery? It's happened. The breaking point. Can you take us back? Because sometimes most of us, we just say, what, I had so many issues, and then I came across, but. If you go back to that exactly moment, and then people can connect, what that kind of life or that kind of challenges somebody else went through, and then I'm also going through. So it's not easy, but I can do it too. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Is it okay?
Yeah, I can talk about it a little bit. Sure.
Yeah, please.
Certainly, when I talk about feeling isolated, feeling disconnected from my life, I was I was very conflicted within myself. I was unhappy. I had created a really, I had created the life that I thought I'd always wanted. You know, I had the family, I had the really nice house, I had decent job, and yet I was miserable and overwhelmed and not emotionally capable at that time of giving my family everything that I wanted to give them, and everything that they deserved. Um, I felt I felt that I had no right to be unhappy because I had all these wonderful things, and the pain and the conflict and the frustration that I was feeling expressed itself outwardly in my choices and my behaviors, and I increasingly got myself into a state of denial and increasingly sort of out of touch with reality and with the consequences of the choices that I was taking. I'm not going to go into specifics about it,
Yeah.
okay, but that's more or less the situation. You know, I got myself into a lifestyle that I was not emotionally capable of dealing with, and it there was something missing. There was something missing, you know, and I feel like what was missing was myself. And so, having made increasingly poor and destructive choices, eventually that all it accumulated and blew up in my face, literally overnight. And I got kicked out of the house and thrown out of that relationship, and I haven't been able to go back. And that was very traumatic. That was very, very, very challenging for me, emotionally. Very, very challenging in a lot of ways for everyone involved. And it was sufficiently awful that I could not ignore it, or reframe it and be in denial about it. And I found that I was suddenly able to really see the choices that I've been making, and really see the path that I had taken to get myself to that spot.
Can you see, or have you discovered that on that particular moment or day, is there any positive sign, positive things happen? Like anything? Can you remember?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Like, let's say something happened on the negative side, but also something happened positive. You know what, this is it, but I want to take my life next level, or something like that. So something has pop up, like on the next day or following some. Of course, it's that life throw me in, but also there's another opportunity for me, something like that.
Well, I mean, this is the point at which I created my Live More brand. This is the point at which that the inspiration came to me all at once to create a personal development brand that could be global and could be incredibly highly visible. This is the point at which, or from the creation of Live More, from the inspiration to create that sort of presence in the world, a logical progression from that was my coaching. And I can say that immediately following my breakdown, I was a little shocked to find that I felt relieved. Like I'd been fighting with myself for so long, and then I kind of felt like it was over. I was awake. I could take a different path. So there was a certain sense of relief.
There's no more the pressure. Is that right?
Say again?
There's no more the pressure. You were there for under pressure for a long time, and then you just thought, what you felt, released, something like that. Is that right?
Something like that. Yeah, it was just a sense of releasing releasing everything I'd been keeping inside, and having all the everything sort of visible. Um, yeah, at
No,
least
the
at least
reason
at
I
least at least it's having it out, at least having everything kind of out in the open at that point. As much as I was ashamed, as much as I hated it, as much as I wished that I could change something, it was a relief to not have it inside of me anymore. It was just all over the place, and at least from there, I can make some changes. I can grow. I can, be a better man.
I think that what you call that's a true self discovery, or the giving the permission, full permission. Like I am free. I can do anything I want. So it's just kind of like the freedom you feel 100%. Full of your heart. What? It is nice to hear. The reason why I wanted to bring that, or I have that question is you just rather than speaking, saying, but if you take to that exactly moment and then see what happened there, and then see a lot of times we don't really connect those dots, the negative and the positive dots, and then we don't really care about that, or never come across or thought about it. But when we go back and then see it, it's everything happening for a reason. That's what I believe. That's why I just want to connect those dots. Anyhow, let's talk about your the book you wrote it. Can you briefly talk about that?
Absolutely. Yeah, the book is a international best-selling co-authoring project that I was involved with. I'm very proud of it. It's an inspirational book with a number of powerful authors talking about resilience, talking about exactly similar stories to my own, overcoming adversity, whether it's external adversity or whether it's internal adversity, like what I experienced. And it's a beautiful collection of stories like that are uplifting and inspiring from real people who lived it.
Um, nice. Is it available on Amazon, or how do we can?
It is, I believe so.
Okay.
We only just launched it recently, and there's still. I'm not 100% about the Amazon thing, but the book is called Resilience 30 plus 1 Resilient Stories.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Um, How about the service? Now you are a coach. Can you talk about how you are helping men and boys, or specifically the self-discovery coach for men? So how are you helping them? Can you talk about that?
Sure. I mean, I do one-on-one coaching. I am actually running a men's group as well right now. It's And I was going to say something more about the men's group, but the men's group is something that I recently started. It's very small at the moment, and we're figuring things out as we go along. But so far, it's really great.
No,
And
it's okay. You can talk about what actually what you guys services. Of course, this is a platform, Voice of Men 360, and we're trying to help. However, wherever and whenever we possibly, so you can just briefly talk about that. What you plan, what are you doing, something like that.
Sure.
Please.
Yeah. So again, I do offer one-on-one coaching,
Hmm.
and as well as that, I have a really powerful online course called The Lost and Found Man. It is available. It's up and running right now. Very proud of that. It's not a huge course. It's 5 modules. But it's packed with good stuff, and it's an excellent course. And I'm in the middle of writing a newer, larger course for a global platform that I'm involved with, which is very exciting. Yeah, and I have a podcast as well. The podcast, I've honestly been neglecting it a little bit lately, but again, it's a powerful tool for people to have some resources it's a powerful resource for people to be able to dig into their selves, into areas in their lives where they may feel a sense of lack, where they may wish for greater connection. The podcast is called The Path of Self-Discovery with Jonathan Tarrant. So,
Nice.
yeah.
And the men's group, I just, if anybody wants to join, or like any terms and conditions, or what do you guys follow, and then what you guys cover, or what's your plan?
I mean, the men's group is something pretty awesome, because so many other men's groups that I've seen, that I've researched, talk about helping men and being there for men, and they are men's groups. However, at the end of the day, like, a lot of them boil down to more like a men's social group, where they get together and they do manly stuff.
Yeah.
And they don't necessarily talk about emotional issues, or heart-centered issues. And within my group, it's called Together Men Rise. This group is so far only 7 guys, and we do get into like powerful conversations. Like, the point of this group is to emotionally support each other and lift each other up, and talk like human beings, and just drop all the macho stuff and all the stereotypes, and allow each other and support each other to be real, to be whole, and to be the best men that we can be.
And is it a weekly basis, or twice a month, or how do you guys do it?
So far, we're meeting every 2 weeks.
Okay.
So we're meeting every 2 weeks. Yeah, we haven't been meeting all that long.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I lose track of time because of COVID and all of this. It's like the year has gone by so quickly. But yeah, it still feels like a young group to me. But definitely, we're looking to expand, and we're.
So if anybody wants to join, how they can join? They got to contact you, or like what's the way?
I mean, we have plans for websites and things. We don't have any of that up and running yet.
Okay.
I would say if someone has an interest in joining a really like a heart-centered, strong, manly men's group, they should contact me.
Sure. And how about, I always wonder, especially with the coaches and trainers and mentors too, what are some ways, like our boys and men, they are not really open in generally speaking. So is it, of course, you come across with those challenges. So can you share a couple of ways, or some techniques, or something like how we can overcome that point,
I think the best way to overcome it is to lead by example.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if we can gather enough men around us who are willing to be more wholehearted and are willing to lead by example, I am excited to imagine the kind of sweeping change that could be created after a generation or two of men. You get fathers who are open and emotionally available and feeling connected to the world and to themselves, to their family. Imagine what they may teach their sons and daughters, and how that may trickle down through the generations. I think the best thing that we can do is to take the risk and be as open as we can be, and lead by example.
Sure. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate that, for joining and sharing your life story or experiences, because not many times it's very hard to share that information. Do you have anything to add before we leave?
No, nothing specific. This has been a really great conversation. I appreciate being given this platform to speak, and I appreciate you and everything that you're doing.
Thanks a lot. I always want to bring people and have a discussion how we can help others too, because when we bring those individuals who went through a lot of struggles or challenges, and that those experiences, those stories can inspire somebody out there, we don't know. So it's not really sharing and bringing a popular person or individuals, but also their life stories, how we can create awareness, Jonathan said, how he can overcome from that challenges. So being open and having a conversation, that's really important, especially men and boys nowadays. So we see a lot of struggles and challenges and happening around us, especially during this COVID-19. So I believe this will help somebody out there to make some kind of positive changes or positive thinking in their life. So it will give more to live. That's what I would say. So thank you, Jonathan, for joining and sharing your life.
Thank you.
Thank you. Friends, this is where on Sundays at 10 o'clock, open up. It's happening every Sunday, so you can join any part of world or any walk of life. You can join. There's no limitation with the gender or age or ethnic groups. So anyone can, male or female, anybody can join and share their life stories. And also we have a shows, webinars on Saturdays from 10:30 to 11 o'clock, and a special discussion, of course, at the same time on a different days, Saturdays every other week. And we have a special art competition going on. Share your feelings and emotions through arts, drawings, paintings, music, songs, short film, poem, article, animation, photography, comics, fashion, and performance. The deadline is Sunday, December 20th. The first prize is $250, and it's sponsored by RCP, Right Choice Professionals. And second prize is $175, and Wood Gold Sweda Kumar. And third prize is McMott Agostino Mortgage. Third prize is $100. And our website supporter, of course, DF Credit Solution. And the terms and conditions must have English subtitles, music, songs, short film, animations, maximum 5 minutes. No age or gender limit to participate. You must send your name, phone number, email address, and your picture along with your submission. By entering into the competition, you agree that your picture and your creation will be shared on social media. If it's a group works, then you must submit all the participants' information along with your submission, and judges' decisions are final. So please, share your emotions or stories through any form of art. So please don't miss this one. We have until December 20th, and you can contact us 647-424-22651. 647-224-2251, and info@voiceofmen360.org. info@voiceofmen360.org, or you can visit us, of course, voiceofmen360.org. You can find any of the platform, Facebook group we have, and page, and YouTube. Please subscribe our YouTube channel, Voice of Men 360, and Instagram, of course, and Twitter, LinkedIn. So you can find anywhere. Please, thank you. Thanks a lot, everyone. Thank you.